Hi, I'm Susan Vaughn. Welcome to Fireside Chats.
I'm Alana Michelson, and we're here going to discuss today something that has touched many of our clients. Very often, I'll have a client who comes to me and they're educated, they've done all the things they need to do, they have all the tools that they need, and yet success eludes them. They just don't manage to grasp it, and they don't understand why. And you can see sometimes in the street two people. Both of them have had the same education. Both of them know the same tools, and yet one will be successful and one will not be successful. So why is that?
We're here to talk about the fear of success.
Yes, so let's do that.
Okay.
I can tell you from my personal experience, I had a big fear of success, and one of those fears of my success was it was a secondary gain that I was getting by not being successful. Those secondary gains are those things that are going to get you every time. And they're very difficult to spot. You have to really dig down deep for them. But when you find them, you can release them.
When you find them, and you're so on point, they're difficult to spot. If you tap enough, or if you tap on it, but it becomes an aha moment of sorts when you're going, oh, well, no wonder I don't want to be successful, because then I won't have this or I'll have this and don't necessarily want that. And i.e., as far as myself is concerning me, I say I want my independence. I say I want financial independence and financial freedom, and to an extent have that. But to a level, there is what we were talking about earlier, where there's this not, I don't know if we called it fear earlier of corruption or fear of something like that.
Well,
And
when we're growing up, very often we hear from our parents, and I still hear from my parents sometimes, oh, they don't know what they do with their money. And in my community, there are a lot of people who became very rich and tore down houses, my parents' community, not my community, and rebuilt houses and then got stuck in middle because they had no more money left. And then my parents were stuck helping with the synagogue because they have a special charity for the people of the community. And they pay to that charity to pay for those people who have these houses that are 3 times the size that my parents have, yet they have no money and my parents do have money. So I got the idea that if I become rich, I'm going to become corrupt, I'm going to squander my money, and I'm going to become poor again.
and we have all those references, and we have proof to back that up, and so that's within us already. So to the secondary gains are not always easy to spot, like why you want to hold on to a problem such as, but when you let all that go, which I've seen people let that go, and it seems like just just a flow of life. You just allow, and you allow so much more into your life, and you worry a whole lot less.
Yes. Well, there's other reasons as well why people are not successful. Some people, when they were little, they were told by their parents all the time, you're never going to amount to anything. Now, if you're told that enough times, that's what you believe. You're not going to amount to anything. And any time that you start amounting to something, you're going to sabotage yourself because your mom always said, or your dad always said, or your teacher always said, or the principal always said, or your babysitter always said, whoever it was that always said that to you, hypnotized you into a trance.
And it could be a look. I heard Robert say once, it could just be a look, an expression on somebody's face. It doesn't even so much have to be, that. But what I mean by that is, if it could just be a look, that look that somebody gave you to make you feel a certain way and to getting you in that trance and that being held up inside of you, if that's all it takes, then imagine, if you will, somebody telling you just one time, you are not worth a hill of beans, or you're never going to amount to a hill of beans. And that's slang. It's a Southern term that my grandmother used to use. But I heard her say that maybe once or twice, or that's not, talking about some person. And how many times we hear things like that.
People
and
don't,
not the opposite.
People don't realize the impact of hypnotic trances. And I'm not talking about the stage hypnosis where someone hangs something in front of you and says, you will do this and this. I'm talking about the hypnotic trances that when you first learn how to walk, you didn't know how to always walk. You stumbled, you fell down, you got back up, you stumbled, you fell down, till you learned it, until it became a program inside your mind. So that now when you get up in the morning and you put your feet
Automatic.
on the floor, it's just automatic. You don't even need to think about it.
Oh,
The same exact thing. You don't have to think about the fact that they're giving you that look or saying that statement or telling you that thing. You just
and
hear it, see it, smell it, and the
that's
program kicks
exactly
in.
right. And along the same lines of that trance, we're in trance every day at any
Every
given point
every
of the
moment of the
day.
day.
It's
Every
it's what
moment.
kind of trance are you in?
Exactly.
Uh, so when we talk about, and it's funny, people that when you see people that, and you have to explain to them, we're not talking about that kind of hypnosis, like the woo woo. I don't even know if you call that woo woo,
It's the stage. It's
but
called stage hypnosis.
yes, but it's very different. I don't know if what we could you call this conversational hypnosis? What we mean,
I'm not even
or
sure.
what?
It's sort of conversational hypnosis, but a lot of it is not intentional
No, it's
hypnosis.
not exactly
People aren't trying to give you that feeling, but
right.
you have that program inside of you, and your subconscious knows that when that look comes, that means I'm not successful. When
Right,
that
and that
person
just
says
that
that's
disapproval.
yes, when
It
that
could be
person
a look of disapproval, and that look is so intense that it almost feels as though, I mean, it used to be for me
it's
every
intense for you. It's not intense for everybody else.
no, and
That's
I
why.
speak for myself that
Yeah.
it was intense for me because that was my perception. So when I took that in, I took and it was a teacher. I took that in on such a level that I felt like I was disapproved of by all my teachers,
Exactly.
and so I've had
Exactly. You know,
some
it's
tapping to do
it's
behind that.
it's the same way how two people can work in an office and the boss will come out and the boss will say, get really angry and say, why don't you have this ready? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And one person will just say, oh, he had a fight with his wife. And the other person will go off and start saying, oh no, he's going to fire me. Oh no, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Because their program is they were fired before. They were fired where they were told when they were a child that when they do something wrong, something bad's going to happen, whatever it is, and their program just kicks in automatically. The other person
Right,
doesn't have that program. They don't even hear the tonality of the screaming. They just say, "Oh, he had a fight with his wife. Let it go. That's it."
right. And I think in my case, it was karma. Uh, you know,
Yeah,
uh, Karma, and so you had to be on your
right.
best behavior,
Exactly.
especially as it in religious matters. But that's
Exactly.
another.
But there are many other reasons also why you might not be successful. You might think to yourself, if I become successful, who am I going to be? I've been unsuccessful so long, this is my identity. And we say, I might not know who I'm going to be, but I know I'm going to be a lot happier and a lot richer.
And
And I'll create a new
would
identity.
argue, or one would say, we are successfully producing unsuccessfulness. No.
Exactly.
So you're not really ever a failure.
Never.
Um, we all have the divine spark that's spoken of, and I think that it grows and it grows, and the more you let go of the old resources and the old proofs that, and
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 create
those trances you get in.
new proofs and new
Yes,
trances. The
it's a
easier
beautiful thing.
the easier it
Um,
gets.
so that's a good thing. That's a great reason to tap on fear of success.
Right? Another reason why you might feel that you're not successful is because don't deserve it. You're not worthy of it.
Yep, that's true.
And that also comes from programming from when you were a
Guilt.
child. Guilt.
Hmm.
If you always felt that you didn't deserve to get the bigger portion of food, you didn't deserve to get the dessert, you didn't deserve to get the new clothing, you didn't deserve to get. So you're going to feel here too.
It could be anything.
I don't deserve to get the better job. I don't deserve to earn the better money. And no matter how hard you try, you're going to sabotage yourself. You're
Yeah.
not going to manage to get it because what you hold inside of you is what you see on the outside.
Right. It's not technically a sabotage because it is a program.
It's a program. It's not an intentional sabotage.
Right, right.
But what is your subconscious trying to see if to keep you safe based
Yes.
on what it's
On
holding
what you know.
inside of itself and
Mhm.
what you know. You don't know
That's right.
anything else, you can't work with anything else.
Right.
And with tapping, what you can do is you can change what you know.
And I think that it's fascinating the way that works. I had a discussion just briefly. I want to say this about the reticular activating system with my neighbor. She was almost in the dark, so I broke it down in kind of layman's terms to her, and we spoke about it. But I said, "Isn't it fascinating that we have this capability through tapping to actually change that filter of what is, attractive or unattractive? When we see it, we know, because
Right.
you have billions of thoughts per however whatever. I think I heard 2 billion per minute. Now I don't know if that's a little, and they're unconscious, we don't know. But if
Right.
that is the case, then it's a little hard to wrap your head around. But and when it, so when you tap and you change these little things, and then outwardly things change, that's what's happening, is that
Right.
filter has created something new.
A lot of my
New neural
clients
connections.
a lot of my clients are always surprised, pleasantly surprised, when they have this really bad memory and we go inside and we manage to tap it so that they can change it, so that the person who was really angry at them is now smiling. And they're like, how did I just do that? What just happened over there? And in a way, it is type of magic, but it's a magic that you're doing with inside yourself. You're
We're a
changing the
healing
filter.
machine.
Healing machine, exactly. You're changing your filter. I like to look at it as a camera and a photographer, because the photographer can look through his camera, and depending on what filter he puts on it, he'll see the picture differently, and
Right.
he'll portray the picture differently. And that's the same exact thing that's going on in your mind. You're seeing the picture based on whatever filter you're using. If it's a
Right.
filter of non-deserving, then that's what you're going to see. If it's a filter of deserving, that's what you're going to see.
I think you know tapping on that is one thing, and when you're making progress doing it, because you realize that the guilt that you feel, because guilt is so much a part of that, I feel,
Right, right,
on for myself, I don't deserve that because of A, Y, or X, Y, and Z, because of whatever. I don't deserve it. But when I take that and I transform that guilt into a learning experience, I forgive myself, and I do things differently because of I'll produce something different because I have tapped on whatever those references are, or those proofs, that you can tell, because your circumstances change.
right, definitely. And sometimes the changes will be very subtle, but if you're aware and looking for them, then you'll find them.
Right.
And I can tell you from my own personal experience, I have a loving mother, I have a loving father, and I'm, grateful to them for everything they've done for me, and I love them tremendously. But there were certain programs that were going on over there too, between my sister, me, and my mother. And it used to be that my mother would usually go to my sister for long periods of time, and to me, she would come and she would visit with a Danish and with a cup of coffee. She'd come for the afternoon. And 2 years ago, after starting all this tapping, she, like, at one point said to me, I think we're going to go to your house for the weekend. And my kids sat there with mouths open up. Since when does grandma come to our house for the weekend? And it was all the tapping. Things changed. She didn't
Yeah.
realize it, but my kids noticed it. They didn't know it was the tapping, but I knew it was the tapping. So the point is that tapping can really change your whole world around you. And if you're trying to find success and you're not finding it, there's usually some secondary gain that's keeping you safe, that's keeping you in comfort, that's keeping you supported.
In alignment with what you had growing up, or what your parents had
Exactly.
growing up, which is yours too, because you're just like them.
Exactly.
Um, so yeah, same thing.
And through
So it's
tapping, you can
interesting.
change that, and you'll be
Yes.
astounded at the
Oh
changes that you
yeah.
see. And not only will you be astounded, but your friends will be astounded. They'll come
It
and
is. it's one of those things that the tapping in itself, it's one of those things that you really do have to experience. We can talk about it. We can talk about how wonderful, a crossfire session with Kim and Dave were. We could talk about how wonderful it was to work with the practitioners that we work with, and on the giving and the receiving line, and how amazing it is. But until you experience what we're talking about with Faster EFT, there, miraculous is the only term I can think of, although they say, and I know I don't want to get in too deep to it's not about the tapping, because it's not about the tapping. Tapping is not about the tapping. It is about the changes that occur, because there are people, when they first come in, I was one of them that believed that this was doing something, and it might very well be, as far as the acupressure points. But this, as far as I'm concerned, it's just breaking a trance.
Well,
Feel
it's
your
it's
fingers just
one
breaking
of
the
the
trance.
tools that we
Right.
have to
It's
use to
just,
change the trends.
but as far as the experience of Faster EFT and having a session, I mean, the coolest thing, and this is what I consider success, and well, on my own personal level, I had a client who I worked with her one time, and the next time I worked with her, she did not look the same. I mean, at all. And this has happened a few times now with a few different people. But I think it's remarkable, the
Yeah.
calmness. There's no desperation there. There's no urgency. There's no sadness. There's no fear. They're empowered and they feel wonderful. And
Right.
you tap on what is presented in the session, or where you can trigger the most.
Right.
So anyway, I think that is the coolest. That to me that's my success story for like the past month. I've had some really, and these people are beautiful and they're healing themselves.
Yes.
And
Yes.
but until you experience that firsthand, it's difficult to talk about.
Yeah. But what I can tell you, because I'm sure a lot of you people thinking about financial issues, especially in today's economy, the economy has nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing to do with it. You can thrive in in a bad economy, and you can do really poorly in a good economy.
Yeah.
But I can tell you personally, since I've started tapping, I have tripled my monthly salary. Okay? And that was basically just with tapping. It's not like I'm
Yep.
doing anything else that's different, just the tapping. And I believe
Yeah.
that I'm going to continue to grow it and grow it to a point where feel satisfied with it.
I
And
believe that you will. I believe it
and
will.
we can help you do it too.
Yeah. And the thing is when you let go, I don't know, my concept is that as you let go of these things that are holding you back, I have found it to be true in my own life that I attract people. They seek
Yeah.
me out and they say, okay, I would like a session. They seek you out and you're wondering,
Right.
wow, how did they even, I had one, how did they even find me? I don't know how.
No,
And
I had some from all over the world. People have found me, and I have
yeah.
no idea how exactly.
And I had a message on Facebook today. Somebody, it's a friend, but I don't really know her. And they're asking me questions about tapping or something having to do with Faster EFT. And she's like, "You don't even look the same as you did in that smoking video." And I said, "Girl, I don't even know who that was." But that's when I look at that, I don't like to hear myself speak, and I don't. I'm not quite there yet where I'm real comfortable with that. But I remember the first time I saw that. It was in 2013, and Grace had given that to me at level 1. I put it in. I watched 5 minutes, and I had to take it out and put it to this. Now I watched it later. I was able to, but I had a friend that came over, and she said, "That's you?" I said, "Yeah, that was me." But I think we discussed it last time. Faster EFT helped me find my voice, and
Right.
was priceless. It really now sometimes I don't know when to shut up. So that's the but anyway.
Anyway, so what we want to really say is that success is not something that's from the outside, it's something from the inside, and you can create it inside. And if you need help, we're here to help you. If you have questions, please feel free to write in, and we'll really try to address the answers to those questions.
What's our
And
email address again? Ilana, yes.
Michelson@gmail.com.
And well, no, our collaborative
Oh,
uh,
Faster
faster
EFT
EFT.
fireside chats. But
Oh,
you
got it
have all the email addresses. Ours are right
down
down
below.
here below on the video itself, and the other one is down below in that little blurb. So
If
you can contact
if
us
you
in any of them.
and also if you want to and if you would like a consultation, I'm giving those. I'll give a 30-minute consult at no charge until the 2nd of January right now.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you have any topic that maybe you're struggling with, it could be anything at all. Let us know in the comments below, and um,
Be
we
happy
will
to address
address
them.
that. Yeah.
So till next episode, happy tapping.
Happy tapping. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.